My name is Gary Chisholm. I live in Cambridgeshire, and back in 2016 I had a workplace incident. I was a lorry driver and was just going about my daily work, cleaning out the vehicle body, and just got too close to some overhead power lines, unaware that the electric could jump up to 10 metres, resulting in me getting an electric shock, which led to a below-knee amputation and 25% burns to my body. I was in hospital, I believe around about 5 months in total. I was entering into something that was going to be totally new. I wouldn't say nobody really thinks that their life would change in such a dramatic way, of going from being totally active and independent to not knowing where my bills were going to get paid or what. So there was so much to think about and sort of to go over.
Gary had quite a challenging case. It was an accident at work, but liability was fully contested in the case. It was one of those few cases that we had to take to a full trial on liability. And that meant that it took a while for us to get to the stage that we were able to secure large interim payment for Gary.
After the accident, obviously there's quite a lot of financial concerns regarding going forward, and Stuart and Nicola as a team just give me all the right guidance and information that I needed. It got the ball rolling on a process that can take weeks, and I had the financial side of things in place for when I left hospital.
When I first took on the case, I arranged a very early meeting and engaged with the defendant's insurers, and we were able to work collaboratively with the insurer from a very early stage, which meant that we could get a case manager involved for Gary to look at his immediate needs, and various things were put in place and funded under the Rehabilitation Code for Gary, including wheelchair, referring him to private prosthetic company, some therapies, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, counselling services, until we got to the stage that we had the trial and liability, and then we were able to request a large interim payment and secure a large interim payment for Gary. And it was at that stage that he was able to sort of fully engage with his rehabilitation, because he was living in a better home environment. The most important thing is gauging as soon as you can in terms of what the client's needs are and what their life was like before their accident, what they enjoyed doing, what activities they enjoyed doing, so that we could focus on how we could get the client back to a level of independence and good quality of life.
To secure what we did secure at trial has been massive in my life. Me, more than anybody, would love to go back to doing a job that I did really enjoy. I loved the freedom of being out on the road, and I enjoyed the driving.
He looked into returning to work, including sort of being retested to see if he was able to return to work, but physically he wouldn't have been able to do the job. So we then looked at what support can we give Gary to give him meaning to his life, and at that point we got a vocational occupational therapist involved who worked with Gary in terms of looking at how he could get back involved in stock cars. Initially supporting him to work with others to build a stock car, and then eventually looking at how he could get back into racing.
Regarding the motor racing side of things, I probably am getting a little bit too old now for actually racing. I feel like I've maybe got a year left, a year and a half maximum, and what I would like to do, either mentor or take on a young driver and do the garage side of stuff, but just to keep me active and focus on getting up and doing something every day.
When Gary first instructed Stuart, it was not long after he had sustained his amputation injury, and he was in quite a dark place and still going through the adjustment phase following the injury. And it's just so positive to see what a difference the claim can make through the therapies that we were able to put in place for him, including psychological support, moving Gary to suitable accommodation so that he regained his independence, and then being able to put him in touch with the right people to make sure that he could go back to the activities that he enjoyed before his accident, and particularly the stock cars. And to top it all off, his recent news about his engagement and his forthcoming marriage is just so wonderful to hear.
Since I've been an amputee, you just have to adjust yourself into doing things a different way. It's about acceptance. It's not about not wanting to, it's just about acceptance. Personally, I just cannot thank Stuart's and Nicola and their team enough for what they've done, not just financially, but the support and the direction they give you in your life to try and get you back on track or try and make your life as normal as possible. I'll always be grateful to Nicola and Stuart, so I'd just be totally lost, totally lost. There's no words to describe them. Amazing.